proclaiming April 15th through the 19th as Work Zone Awareness Week in Lucas County. I think everybody knows what that means, right? Work zone awareness. You can't get anywhere. Try to go from here to Monclova. Try to go from here to Sylvania. Try to go from here to Oregon. Try to get downtown. You got work zone to go through. Now that's both a opportunity and a threat to some people. If you're like me driving through work zones, I have to take a little meditation time, understand the value of slowing down. I'm going to get where I'm going to get. I don't need to be in a hurry. We're in an unprecedented time for construction, I think. The Biden Bipartisan Infrastructure Act has primed the pump again for improvements in the public sector, which are needed. And what we're going to talk about here in a minute is the people that work in those work zones. What we see as an inconvenience is a paycheck, and a good one for the people that you see sitting in this room. So we're going to take a minute and talk about that. I'm sure the commissioners have remarks, and then bring up our friend Mr. Fleetwood and talk and introduce some of the people we may see around out there that promote awareness of this. But it's pretty easy. Slow down, save lives. Don't text through work zones. Don't text and drive anywhere. Pay attention, because these are the lives we're going to save.
Commissioner Gerken, also is that we in our community and around like to complain about potholes, but then we also want to complain about the orange barrels. I personally do not like the potholes and would rather see the orange barrels, and just take a little bit of time. In the summertime, it seems like we could relax a little bit, hold back a little bit, and take our time, because that sunshine just makes you feel a little bit better inside in those winter months. So when I see those orange barrels, I know that our roadways are getting fixed, and I know that our men and women are doing that with amazing skills that they have learned, and that they also have families that they want to go home to. And when they kiss their loved ones goodbye in the morning, those loved ones are wanting to greet them with a kiss at the door. And I think about the fatalities that have happened since 2018. More than 25,000 work zone crashes have occurred in Ohio roadways. There's also been about 87 fatalities and more than 35,000 citations written just in the last few years. Think about that, 35,000 citations written, and that's because people did not adhere to the rules of the road, as they say, when you go through a work zone area. But a work zone area is not just on the expressways or maybe the Anthony Wayne Trail. Those work zones are also in our neighborhoods. And I know I was coming home yesterday, there was one of our roads that was closed off, and that was a closed off road. It's because there was work being done on that road. So I always say, plan ahead, think ahead, and slow your behind down. Because I know that the children that belong to the workers also want to see their parents coming home. We have members of the wonderful Local 500 Union here today, and the sole takeaway from their national observance needs to be to protect them at all cost. We must protect our workers who are working tirelessly to maintain the infrastructure we also depend on. Slow down, read signs, and spread the word. Losing a life during work zone construction because someone is in a hurry is unacceptable. David, thank you. Thank you for leading such an amazing group of workers out there in our workforce. And thank you to the workers that come each and every day to do that work so that we can have nicer roads to drive on. Thank you.
So following up, Lisa said pretty much everything I was going to say. But again, thank you so much for being out there during the cold, the hot weather. Sometimes when the rain is off and on, we're fortunate. Many of us do not work in the construction field, and it is very uncertain sometimes. of what the traffic is going to be like. And we know a couple years ago there was a fatality in which a local 500 worker was killed in a work zone. So it's even more important, as Commissioner Sabecki said, that those workers just want to come home safely, earn a good wage, and do like the rest of us, see our family. So please be safe and please be cautious as we're out and about in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. David?
First, like to ask everybody from Local 500 to come up here, because this is not about me, it's about them. It's about us. A few years ago, I was sitting with Mr. Sean Enright. We were talking, and he's the executive director of the building trades, and I got a call, and it was on Anthony Wayne Trail, where they put the new part where you come over and come back into Maumee, and there was a gentleman that was setting barrels, and they were in the zone. The traffic was slowed down, and somebody, I guess, was trying to get where they wanted to go in a hurry, and they zipped out of the traffic and went on the median side. But between zipping out and getting on the median side, they got to going fast enough to where all that was left of our labor friend was his boots. Knocked him clean out of his boots. I had to go to the funeral. I had to go talk to the mother. We as construction workers put ourselves in the line of fire every day. When we go out there and work on that road, it doesn't matter if it's a 35-hour street or if it's 20-mile-an-hour school zone or it's 65 coming up 75 and it goes down to 50. And I know you get impatient. You're trying to get to work. And I always tell my family, I said, the speed limit is never when you got to be there. But you think about it, to slow down from 60 to 55, it annoys you because you're trying to get somewhere. But when a human being like one of these get hit by a 50-mile-an-hour, 2,000-pound vehicle, there's no insurance that can take us to the body shop and put us back together. These are actual human beings. This is flesh and blood. There's no androids up here. And if you get hit with a car going 20 miles an hour, you're going to have a surgery. And so work zone awareness is serious to us. It's life or death. And we appreciate all three commissioners and everyone up here and all of you for coming. We appreciate the accolades. We appreciate you taking the time out to recognize us and to recognize Work Zone Awareness Week. But what we would appreciate more is to go home every day, back to our family. So think about that when you're going through them zones and you see them orange barrels. Everywhere you see an orange barrel, there's one of us back there. And if you don't, we're the laborers. We're part of the different crafts that's working on that expressway. And if you want to know who we are when you're out there, it's easy to identify us. We're the ones doing the heavy work. We're the ones with the shovel in our hand. We don't use the power tools most of the time. And if you down there with a partner saw that weighs about 15, 20 pounds and you cutting some rebar, you don't have a chance to look when somebody says, watch out. Because you got a stainless steel bit, a diamond cut bit that's in your blade, and if you turn around and snatch it, something to cut you. So there's a lot of things that come into play before we can turn and see that there's a car coming at us with somebody on their cell phone. We don't have a chance. A human being doesn't have a chance when a car is going 50 miles an hour out of control and we're down there holding a power tool. We don't have a chance. So if anything comes out of this meeting besides the accolades, besides the proclamations and everything, think about that when you go through them work zones. It's one of us up here. That's all I ask.
That's plenty.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good.